Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies. Thank you for joining me. I am now re-recording this session because I hadn't pressed the record button on the Zoom session that I had earlier today. So I'm re-recording this so that you have an opportunity to listen to it and to do the meditation practice in your own time. So I hope you're enjoying the program so far, and you might have seen my messages on Facebook. So I just want to recap the changes for our meeting times. So for the next 2 weeks, we're in week 3 now. The next 2 weeks, weeks 4 and 5, which are the 1st and 8th of February, we will meet at 8 a.m. Sydney time on Saturday, which will be 9 p.m. in the UK. Hopefully that's not going to be too late for our UK lovely women. And for weeks 6 and 7, which are the 15th and 22nd of February, we'll meet again at 7 p.m, which makes it 8 p.m. UK time, 8 a.m. UK time. So 7 p.m. Sydney time for weeks 6 and 7, which makes it 8 a.m. in the UK. So I'm trying these different options to get a feel of how these might be for you, which works best for you. It will help me for future planning for programs down the track. So let's check in at the end of the course which you feel worked for you best. Understandably, not everyone is going to be able to come to all the meetings live, and that's the beauty of having these recordings, that you can watch them in your own time, pause them if you need to, and revisit them again and again so that you get what you need out of it. And week 3 is our kind of turning point. I will be offering a week 8, and that will be an integrative coaching call. I'll send out an email for that soon. It's an opportunity for us to integrate these 7 weeks in a discussion. We will have a meditation. There'll be opportunities for questions. So watch out for that email. And that may be on a Saturday night here for us in Sydney and 8 a.m. in the UK. So what an amazing card we have for week 3. And as we're working on our intentions, what inevitably comes up when we're thinking of what we want, what comes up can inevitably the reasons that our subconscious may throw up at us around why we can't have it, why we mightn't deserve it. So surrendering is an opportunity for us to go through a process of purification, of letting go, of clearing those old blocks or belief systems, those old thinking tracks that may get in the way of our being the full, vibrant, powerful women that we are. And so the reading for this card is that I honor the truth in surrender as it opens the gifts of divine grace. So this is a very different way of looking at surrender that some people may look at, which is about giving up. This is about honoring that surrender, honoring the letting go. And this is what a beautiful, powerful, dark goddess that this is for our session 3, full of lots of symbols, there with the night sky behind her and her hair laced with stars and jewels. And at her chest are some incredible images that are from ancient Egypt and from various cultures. So we have the prominent eye of Horus, also known as the eye of Ra, that protective eye that Egyptian sailors and would paint on their warships as a protection. And this is drawn together with the anchor. And the anchor is also a symbol of protection and strength. And then the interlocking 5-pointed star, which is placed within a circle, is a strong image from pagan spirituality. So I'd like to go through these symbols with you and draw and weave them into our journey this week on surrendering. So starting with the anchor, it's an ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic symbol that was most commonly used in writing, and it's the symbol of life. All life is the anchor, and it was commonly held in the hands of deities. So it's a very prominent symbol that you'll often see in Egyptian artwork. And behind the anchor are the wings. And through the Egyptian symbology, I take these to be the wings of Horus, which is a god in the form of a falcon, whose right eye was the morning star, representing power, and whose left eye was the moon, or evening star, that represented healing. And the eye of Horus, similar to the eye of Ra, is a symbol of protection and good health. There was a belief, there was a myth that the eyes could produce an energy, that kind of, I guess you could talk about it in Indian spirituality as Shakti, that can come out of the eye. And our glance can, cast evil spirits or produce bad will. And we have that saying with our, in the West as well, that, she gave me the evil eye, or he gave me the evil eye, or her eyes were boring into me. And so the ancients believed that the evil eye could be counteracted with a good eye. And so today still you'll see jewelry in Greek and Roman churches that look like an eye, look like a blue glass eye. And the idea was that it warded off evil. And so we have this symbol of the eye of Horus, on our image, on our card. And then we have also the Egyptian hieroglyph of the pentagram, the 5-sided star. And the belief, the idea of drawing this is that you don't lift your pen. You draw, it's a continuous energy to make this 5-pointed star. And in our card for surrender, the 5-pointed star, or the pentagram, is symbolized as the netherworld, the underworld of the dead. And its categorization in human life is a representation of the stages, life stages: birth, adolescence, growing up, sex and sexuality, parenthood and death. And in ancient Chinese symbology, it's the 5 elements of air, water, fire, wood, and we talked about it in the group. Air, water, fire, wood, and metal, I think, is the other one. Yep. So they're earthly materials, and in Christianity, of course, it's the representation of the 5 senses, as well as the 5 wounds of Christ. And of course, it's very common in Wiccan spirituality, the pentagram. So our image here of this cosmic goddess, given that at her chest are these incredible symbols, I see this goddess as Hathor, the ancient Egyptian goddess, because of her association with Horus, and the eye of Horus being there, and the wings of the god, the falcon god, being present in this image as well. And Hathor is the cow goddess. And there's lots that you can read about Horus, all these symbols on Google if you'd like. And I'll send some links for your interest on our private group that you can look at, and you might want to do your own research as well. But Hathor is the goddess of the sky, so it's not a surprise that this image of her is in the night sky. She's also the goddess of women, the mother image, and of fertility and love. And her counterpart in Greek mythology, of course, is Aphrodite. So her name has to do with rebirth and rejuvenation and inspiration. And so it's not a surprise that she is part of surrender, part of surrendering up the old and letting that die away, opens us to that cycle of resurrection, of the new coming in, of making space for the new. But in this goddess, I also see the dark goddess Kali from Hindu mythology. And because Kali is often represented in the dark sky as well, and it's that great infinite void where all is released and where all is born, from womb to tomb. And we, of course, we come from the dark void, and when we die, we're absorbed back into the dark void. So Kali is the dark goddess. She is the no-nonsense goddess. She is the one that says, no, I'm not going to do that, I'm not available. No, I'm sorry you need this, but I need to do this. And she helps us with our authority of letting go of those things that block our own consciousness, block our own growth through our own ego conditioning. So you'll often see Kali of lopping off the heads of the beasts. And this is about cutting off the ego when we get stuck in our thinking. And with the dark, we often can have negative associations with the dark. And what I love about the symbology that I've read about the dark, and I run a one-day workshop on the goddess Kali for women, is that there's an embrace of the dark. So she's seen as the gleaming dark, the mysterious dark. She's represented in the night sky, that infinite darkness. It's both beautiful and silent, yet vibrant with life. And what a wonderful expression of the divine feminine that exists within us. That it's not only receptive and nurturing, but it's also fierce and wild. And Kali, as the aspect of the dark feminine, reminds us that our lives will never change until we kill off those inner demons, until we face our shadow and look where we may be sabotaging ourselves, where we may diminish ourselves and repeat patterns of further suffering. So today we are going to enter into this realm of surrender through surrendering to the Divine Mother, whatever is old or outmoded, surrendering up to the formless void, the magic of the divine, and allowing that to work in us and through us in order for making space for the new. So we're going to move into our meditation now, and I invite you to maybe have a journal with you and your pen, and get yourself comfortable. Take a moment to get comfortable and allow your breath to be easy and natural, relaxing into your own rhythm. Just come back to self. letting go of all the words that I have just spoken. Come back to being with your body. You may gently close your eyes or look down, softening your gaze. And feel your base really sinking down into the ground if you're sitting down or lying down. Feel that heaviness sending your breath right down to your belly, allowing your belly to be soft and round. And feel into your base. And like we did last session, imagine that from your base there are these wonderful roots that are growing out of your base, down into the ground and connecting with the earth. And really send them deep down into the earth. And feel the stability and groundedness of the earth holding you as you allow your weight to sink down. And just very gently now bring your awareness to your upper body, gently raising your upper body, dropping your shoulders down, tucking your chin very slightly so that your crown is pointing up to the sky, up to that beautiful cosmic void. And feel an incredible openness and spaciousness at your crown, reaching up, right up high into the cosmos, into that realm of the formless void, what has yet to manifest. Feel into the energy of the great cosmic mother, her benevolence emanating, floating down to you. And imagine her there in that great void, coming down and floating towards you until she is present right before you. Perhaps she's just slightly above you. Feel into her energetic presence. See her kindness and her compassion. see or sense her absolute openness and her willingness to take whatever it is that you're wanting to surrender from you and to support you to simply surrender. And take a moment to just give a bow and appreciate this great cosmic benevolent mother before you in all her generous, expansive, powerful presence. Perhaps in your heart, simply say thank you, even before we start. And now is the time to reflect on your intentions and to feel into your readiness to offer all of your fears, your frustrations, your doubts, any blocks or insecurities, all the things that hinder, intrude, and take you out of the flow of your soul path. Just consciously acknowledge them, whatever they may be, and see them floating away from you effortlessly, either as images or words or feelings or perhaps colours, just moving away from you, consciously surrendering them, releasing them to the great cosmic mother, who is drawing each of these into her shimmering aura, drawing them to her and absorbing them into that formless void, transforming them into stardust. Just keep letting go, keep releasing, knowing that nothing is too great or too difficult for our great mother. She embraces all. Now I'm going to add some affirmations that might help you getting clear in this process of surrendering. And they're reflections of things that we've all struggled with collectively and as women, perhaps at different times in our lives. So as I say each one, you might like to open your hands out in supplication and repeat them either to yourself or out loud. To the great shimmering golden light of the cosmic mother, I surrender loneliness. I surrender not being good enough. I surrender my constant struggle, my overgiving. I surrender my financial struggles, not having enough or not being enough. I surrender my doubt and insecurity. I surrender lack of worthiness. I surrender my constant worry about the future. I surrender hurts and resentments from my past. I surrender, I surrender, I surrender. You may like to add your own at this point. It may be just a word or a phrase. And feel into that gradual opening, that softening, and that energetic space that is created when we've surrendered, that's left behind after surrendering. All old beliefs, all constrictions, constrictive thoughts, now and forever, conscious and unconscious, known and unknown, transformed in the light of the cosmic divine mother, sent out into the formless void and absorbed into stardust. And this space that we've created, this void, is a place for the new to enter. It allows a receptivity, a spacious receptivity for uniting with divine grace and divine guidance. So don't be in a hurry to fill that space. Just allow yourself to be with this opening, resting in this space. You might want to pause the video here and make a few notes for yourself, or just to simply sit a little bit longer in this place of surrender and notice the resonance that this exercise has created in your own being. This emptying out, cleansing and purifying. Letting go of who you think you are or should be. Just becoming open and empty and feeling what that space is like. So I feel like we've done a little bit of psychic clearing out, like a psychic detox. And I invite you to really go gently after watching this, after this practice, not rushing off anywhere, and stay connected and present to this space of opening within yourself. And stay connected to this beautiful cosmic divine energy that you have opened yourself to, knowing you can call on her again and again whenever you need to. That's part of this practice, is holding that consciousness that you are not alone in this, that there is divine grace that holds you on your journey. But it calls us to open to it. It's here, but our consciousness needs to be present to it and open to it. Thank you, my dears, and please, the ones who weren't able to come to the live meditation, I would love to hear your experience of this meditation, any thoughts that came up from the card and the email that I sent last Monday, and how you went if you did the practice, as well as any reflections you have from this recording, from this practice that we've just done. So I send you all my blessings until next time. May you be safe. May you be well, may you be at peace, may you be kind to yourself, may you accept yourself as you are, and may you accept life as it is in this moment. Thank you and all my love. Bye now.